Well, we finally saw the first domino fall in the NBA trade world as the Los Angeles Lakers went out and acquired Rui Hachimura from the Washington Wizards in exchange for Kendrick Nunn and a few second-round picks. The Lakers have been in trade rumors for a while now due to the way that their season has been going, and this deal definitely helps them, but it's not necessarily the major splash that us fans have been waiting for. The hope is that this deal will open the floodgates for more trades to start coming about featuring some of the more prominent names on the trade market, and that's exactly what Bleacher Report focused on in a recent article that they posted where, instead of previous iterations of this topic, they actually hypothesized one big blockbuster deal featuring a ton of the big names on the market. So in this video, I'll be analyzing this big potential trade from the perspective of all of the teams involved. Before we start though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. So to start things off, I'll go over the full details of the proposal in the article, then I'll dive into each individual team involved. In this deal, the Lakers receive Miles Turner and Bogdan Bogdanovic, the Hawks receive Bojan Bogdanovic, Buddy Hield, and Alec Burks, the Pistons receive John Collins, Jalen Johnson, and Max Christie, and the Pacers receive Russell Westbrook, Frank Kaminsky, and 2 first-round picks from the Lakers. We'll begin by looking at the Lakers side of the deal, as they are giving up Russell Westbrook, Max Christie, and 2 first-round picks in exchange for Miles Turner and Bogdan Bogdanovic. The Lakers here are getting 2 players that fit some of their biggest areas of need at the moment, as the team's center spot has been a major hole all season long, and the lack of shot creation outside of LeBron for most of the year has been lackluster, which is where Bogdanovic can help out. The biggest reason why the Lakers have yet to make a big splash this year is because they're incredibly hesitant to actually give up both of their remaining first-round picks just to try to salvage a season where their ceiling isn't necessarily title contention. The Lakers right now are just 1 single game back of a playoff spot in the standings, so they're very much still in the hunt. Anthony Davis is expected to return to the court soon, and Russell Westbrook trades are probably still to be expected, but they have to be certain that any deal they make sets them up for a real chance to make a deep run, because otherwise LeBron's tenure in LA will end a year from now, and the team will have 0 assets at their disposal for when they inevitably will need to rebuild. Miles Turner shores up their defense, and Bogdanovic is an upgrade as a shot maker compared to what they have, but I'm just not convinced that they move the needle enough to make a difference in the short term. Bogdanovic is as streaky of a shooter as it gets, and he struggles defensively, and while Turner has range out to the 3-point line, the reality is that lineups featuring LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Miles Turner would provide subpar spacing at best, so the Lakers will have a difficult decision on their hands here. Now shifting our focus over to the Atlanta Hawks part of the trade, they shipped out John Collins, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jalen Johnson, and Frank Kaminsky in exchange for Bojan Bogdanovic, Buddy Hield, and Alec Burks. John Collins has been unhappy in his role for a while now, and with that, he has been involved in trade rumors for a few years, and it is starting to feel as though this could be the year that he is finally moved. The Hawks made a big splash this offseason when they traded for DeJounte Murray, but in doing so, they kind of sacrificed a lot of what made them good in the first place previously, being their lethal scoring potential. It's pretty clear that through this trade, the purpose is to retool them with knockdown shooters that fit much better alongside their dynamic playmaking duo in the backcourt, and if I'm being honest, I don't hate it. I will say that the defense will worry me a bit with this group, but they already rank 18th in the league on that end of the ball anyway, and they do also need to prioritize getting their offense firing on all cylinders, so if you get the floor spaced around Trae Young with guys like Buddy Hield and Bojan Bogdanovic, who are 2 lights-out shooters, then all of a sudden they can become an incredibly difficult team to stop. The Hawks' biggest weakness on offense right now is their real lack of spacing, and while John Collins is probably the best player involved in this trade, for this team at least, he's not being utilized properly in Atlanta by being stuck in a corner spotting up as often as he is in the current moment. Onyeka Okongwu and Clint Capella can still do a good job holding things down in the middle. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray would have more outlets to work with to maximize their playmaking talents, and they can get back to the identity that helped them make a run to the conference finals a few seasons ago with this deal. Next up is looking at things from the Detroit Pistons' perspective, where they are giving up Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks in exchange for John Collins, Jalen Johnson, and Max Christie. It's safe to say that Bojan was never really expected to have a long-term future in Detroit, because even though they signed him this offseason hoping to make a leap into the play-in tournament, the most realistic expectation was always for him to get a nice payday, then get traded to a contender, and if the Pistons can get a guy like John Collins back in a trade for him, then both parties benefit here. Collins is still just 25 years old, so he's starting to hit his prime, but still has plenty of good years left, and on a team like Detroit, where they play much more fluid team basketball, he would be able to have a bigger role in the offense like he's always wanted. Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey are two promising young guards that Collins could develop a nice rapport with, and neither of them are as ball dominant as Trae Young is, so the expectation would be for Collins to once again be able to serve as more of a scoring option like he did early in his career when he was averaging 22 points per game. Alec Burks is on an expiring contract anyway, so throwing him into the deal doesn't change much, and moving forward, the Pistons would actually have a very good core of talent to progress with. And lastly, we'll be analyzing things from the last team involved, which is the Indiana Pacers, who give up Miles Turner and Buddy Hield in exchange for Russell Westbrook, Frank Kaminsky, and 2 first-round picks. For most of the first half of the season, the Pacers were arguably the team overachieving the most, as they were comfortably in the playoff contention, but ever since Tyrese Halliburton suffered an injury that has held him out for a few weeks, the team has spiraled downward back towards the range of the standings that most expected them to be in anyway. Had their playoff odds continued to be strong, there was reason to believe that they would keep Hield and Turner and make a push, but now that they're back below 500, those two guys are more than likely going to be gone by the trade deadline, and the team they're connected with the most is, of course, the Lakers. If the Lakers cave and offer up both of those first-round picks, then Indiana will probably accept the deal and shake hands as fast as they possibly can, and while taking on Russell Westbrook's contract just to likely buy him out and take a cap hit isn't the most ideal scenario, it's not actually that bad because Russ only has one more season left on his current contract after this one. The Pacers have a very bright future, which is where their focus has to continue to lie, so acquiring valuable assets like this for pieces that they're likely not planning on holding on to long term is definitely a victory for them. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about this potential trade and all of the teams involved. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.